Hello and welcome to the Spirit Safe. My name's Rob. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. Now, how about a Scotch single malt from the Campbeltown region? Maybe a Springbank, maybe something from Glen, or perhaps something from the forgotten stepsister of the Campbeltown region, Glen Scotia. It's the 12-year-old Glen Scotia single malt. You'll see the rather handsome Highland cow on the label here. This is a discontinued single malt actually. So you see the guess up here, this grey black bottle and the black and white tube with the Highland cow. It does look something like a souvenir from the Royal Mile in Edinburgh, but this is actually a serious single malt. So it's non-chill filtered, natural colour, and bottled at 46%. Glen Scotia, they have their own dunnage warehouses. They don't malt their own barley, but they use only Scottish barley for their production. But Glen Scotia will always, I think, struggle a little bit being so close to Springbank, which every malt maniac knows is, you know, the go-to distillery because it's the most traditional and it's the one that people most fetishize. So let's have a look at this one. I will be doing a couple of Springbanks and a Glengyle probably next year now, but let's try this Glen Scotia for size. Very light colour, kind of a Chardonnay colour. I should mention I bought this quite a long time ago from BC Liquor Stores, now discontinued at BC Liquor. I think I paid 80 odd Canadian, which isn't bad. So there was a time when this was the only Campbeltown single malt available at BC Liquor. There are now no Campbeltown single malts at BC Liquor. I was hoping for a Springbank, even a Commonwealth Garden Springbank in the premium spirits release, but it didn't happen. So really very coastal on the nose. I get meadow, wildflowers, lavender most definitely. I think this is all ex-bourbon. It's very light, but there's a lot going on there. I do get ginger, a kind of salty, oily malt, a lot of coastal notes as I've said. A very slight acetone note, bit of pear drops or almonds, maybe marzipan in there too. But it's certainly not a heavy nose, it's certainly not a sherry monster or a peat monster. I don't think there's any peat at all in this. There is a bit of earthiness, but there's certainly no smoke, there's certainly no bonfire smoke or medicinal notes to it. I get rather a lot of honey, but it's a kind of a sharp honey note, and later on rolled oats appear on the nose, a nice cereal note. It's slightly waxy as well. But yeah, fresh, bright and breezy, honey, a very salty sea air note to it as well. Just going to have a quick taste and then I'll add some water, go back to the nose and tell you all about the finish. Very spirity, licorice, honey, but it's not outrageously sweet. Nice bitterness, fades to dryness, and then very, very nutty. Walnuts, Brazil nuts. And I find that Campbeltown malts, particularly, you know, with them all being non-chill filtered, they all go through a nice progression in the arrival, all the way through to the finish. This is no exception. A bit more minty on the nose now, into wintergreen. Okay, I'll give it just a little bit of water. I can see oil starting to develop already. Much more earth, outdoors notes, kind of sphagnum moss, wet rocks. And the honey's really starting to come to the forefront. A lot sweeter honey as well. Still got that spirity kick to it. I think the best way to sip this actually is with a teaspoon and a half, 2 teaspoonsful of water. Still very nice, light, fresh, bright and breezy. Actually, strangely, a bit more spirity with a bit of water added that time. Actually, quite spicy that time as well. Really one that you've got to work with here. My notes on the finish say earth, damp caves, dunnage warehouses, a really intense nuttiness that I didn't get that time because the spirit was starting to take over a bit. I have on occasion had a real umami kick, a real soy sauce note to it, which is a bit strange. You do get the real Dunnage Warehouse fustiness on the finish more than on the nose, and then I've had light coffee cappuccino notes develop on the finish as well. You'll excuse me a moment. Yeah, much more creamy that time. Much more creamy cereal. Oatmeal notes. Oat biscuits. Fades to a kind of bitterness. And then comes the light coffee note. Yeah, really very, very interesting one. Now sadly discontinued. If you find this in a shop for less than, I'd say, £45–50, I would grab it at that price. The distillery suffers in its reputation next to Springbank, but it is a serious distillery. They are doing very good things. It's owned by the same group as Loch Lomond distillery, who make Inchmurrin. Yeah, this has been very, very enjoyable. I find the Campbeltown malts actually difficult to review because I find that I'm learning more and more about them as I go on. The flavours change so much. The way it develops on the palate is, you know, for somebody like me who's not all that experienced, it's difficult to sort of convey some of that. Whereas the big peat monsters, I can go, ooh, yeah, I like that. Or the big sherry monsters, oh yeah, very, very nice. The Campbeltown malts, they sort of develop on the palate in a very pleasant way, but for an amateur it's difficult to describe. So yeah, this comes recommended by me. I would enjoy, I think, some of the Campbeltown, some of the Glen Scotia malts that they've got in the range. If you see this, pick it up. It's really very nice, very, very interesting. Okay, I think we'll leave it at that for this time. Tune in again, like, comment, subscribe. See you again soon. Bye bye.